Combat Talk with the King. Now that Pacquiao and Adrian Broner has summed it all up, it was how I said it was going to go. You know, we saw the fight. We saw Pacquiao always give, well, you can't say always give 110%. Well, you know, the guy always tries, you know, and if something is being successful, he doesn't get downtrodden, he pushes forward. What Adrian Broner, we saw, like I said, you know, was going to try to set traps, and if Pacquiao fell into these traps, he would be more inclined to engage and let his hands fly. But if Pacquiao is attacking, Adrian Broner goes into a defense mode, and you know, he runs from any altercation that could embarrass him. But this is something that we knew already. We knew that these individuals was going to perform to their natural instincts, that they're veterans in this game, and expecting them to be anything other than what they displayed on last Saturday would be a farce, or would be fraudulent in your perception of what was going to happen. But this, I didn't do a results show because it was nothing mind-blowing. First of all, shout out to the card. Every fight on that card, besides the main event fight, was a fight of guts and glory. It was a display of willingness, humbleness, mastery in your craft, desire to be great, a desire to fulfill the promise that you have given the crowd, a desire to be that gladiator when you step into those ropes. That squared circle is sacred. And shout out to those fighters on that night that displayed that willingness and that love for that, and showed the respect for that squared circle, that we earned the right to fight and get paid for it. Because don't ever believe that gladiators were getting paid before. You know, the history, the long history in prize fighting and combat, it goes very far, and it all starts with pride and ego. Now, I'm going to get to the elephant inside the room. The elephant in the room is Adrian Broner. At what point in time is your soul worth that price that is being extrapolated and extracted from you? At what point in time is your soul worth the buffoonery and coonery? You must really start to believe the caricature that you've made of yourself. You have fans, and they are diehard because they are looking for what you possess. But what they don't see is what you don't really possess, is that fighter's spirit, that fighter's heart. You're what we call the just enough. That a person that will do just enough, not to lose, just to win. And if the opportunity presents itself, they're going to go for that prize, but they won't risk what they built. And I understand, brother. I've seen your struggle. You have stated numerous times that you have came from nothing, so that nothing haunts you, and that nothing prevents you from being great. That fear of where you came from scares you to death because you feel that the buffoonery and coonery will keep you in a secure place. What is made on sand will never be solid. And you have built your legacy on sand, and it's crumbling in front of your very eyes. You got on national TV. You've made a mockery of my sport. You've made a mockery of yourself, cooning and buffooning, never living up to your words, never laying it all out. And at the end of the show, portraying yourself in a manner that is unbecoming of a former champion, a proud king. It was a display on a level of disbelief. But I understand you are in the trappings that you have made for yourself. Now, this is not an indictment upon you. This is an indictment on the sport and the people that are around you that have allowed this to continue to the point that you've seen success. And anytime you reward someone for inappropriate behavior and you got paid, then they will continue to do the same inappropriate behavior and it will escalate because they want more of that reward that they received. I expected better. I expected this Adrian Broner on his first pay-per-view to come out and give you everything that he had in the tank. He left it on the floor. And when he lost or he won, he raised his hand or he held his hand high and told the crowd, I'll be back. But you didn't do that. So we all know what you did. I don't really think you recover from this. I believe this is actually the crux that sticks inside your craw and will stay with you. On to the fight tonight. We have Keith Thurman versus Joselito Lopez, and it's a good fight for Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman has been off for 2 years. People say that he lost the desire to fight. I believe that the boy fought for so long, and he made it to a place where he fought strong fights back to back to back. You understand? He fought Danny Garcia, he fought Sean Porter, he fought the fights that he was supposed to fight, and he won these fights. And he earned some time off, but during this time off, he got injured during these fights and stuff, and he took a break, and he looks recharged, revitalized, and ready to fight. He came in at 146, junior welterweight, titleist. Joselito, same. Joselito looks determined. Joselito is a fighter who is going to give you the best that he has going into this fight. He always lays it out there. Win, lose, or draw. He's a man's man and makes no excuses. I expect Keith Thurman to be into a good dust-up to get some rounds in. Maybe by the 8th round. If not, like it might go 12 rounds. He might just go to get the rounds just to test his shoulder. But you say, from the 8th round, you're going to start to see the wear and tear on Joselito and might break down. I've seen a focused Joselito. He gave up a fight earlier in the year just to secure this fight. So maybe this fight, I don't know. This is a very precarious fight. But my prediction is Keith Thurman by stoppage or knockout by the 9th, 10th round. Could be the 8th round. I know by the 8th round, you're going to start to see the wear and tear on Joselito. Hopefully the man has everything in the tank and he can get to the 12th round because, he's earned this fight to fight the champion. And it's good to see Keith Thurman back. The division needed him back because he's the missing piece while all these fighters is actually fighting out here. Have a nice round robin between him, Errol Spence, Bud Crawford, Sean Porter is in the mix. Danny Garcia is still there. We can probably get Adrian Broner up there to fight Danny Garcia, something of that nature. Somebody that can actually push this boy. Boxing is great. Don't give up on a sport because of something that you saw last week that made you turn away. Also remember you had Badu Jack last week fighting with a split inside at the front of his head like I've never seen. From the 7th round on to the 12th round, that man finished that fight. That was true blood and guts. Shout out to a true warrior. That night, you got fighter of the night. That night, you were supposed to get Adrian Broner's purse. My hat's off to you, sir. Unsurmountable odds. Facing a foe that is younger, stronger, bigger, more equipped than yourself. With a deficit that it just seemed unconquerable. Your corner, could it be delusional at the moment? Your corner kept you in the game. And your belief in the corner is true. That's a true bond between men. He didn't allow you to quit on yourself, and he didn't quit on you. So my hat's off to Badu Jack, who was the actual real winner of last week's Pacquiao Broner fight. And shout out to everyone that tuned in, because it did 440,000 buys on pay-per-view. It was great. What I don't want to see is Pacquiao fight these young guys anymore. Get the Floyd fight and move on. This is Combat Talk with the King. Hope to see y'all next week when we got a barn burner.